Today, UFOs all over the place. Should we be preparing for an alien takeover? The Project Veritas story contradicted by someone with firsthand knowledge, and a professor says childhood innocence is a myth. And you may not believe it, but he says babies are actually sexual. Mm-hmm. We've got all of that and more coming up, and it all starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez. Happy Monday. I still have somewhat of a voice, but we'll see how long that holds up. I am joined today by Jaco Booyens, BlazeTV contributor and host of The Bottom Line, which everyone should be subscribed to, and also Alex Stein, BlazeTV host of Primetime with Alex Stein, which I also encourage you to go subscribe to it while it's still there anyway on YouTube.
Yeah, before we get censored,
who knows?
Shut down.
Alex,
we might have Alex Jones on soon. Who knows? They're going to shut us down. Yeah, no. So.
Oh well, congratulations on lasting more than one episode.
Yeah, and that's all they gave us. You know, Glenn and Gavin said one, so we did two. So we beat expectations.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I mean, when you set the bar really low,
you can hit it. That's what I'm saying.
You achieved your goal.
It's all performance from here, buddy.
Yeah, it's all extra. You know.
Okay. So this is a really, really good guest selection, a good panel for today for differing reasons. Number one, this first story that we're getting into, we've got the conspiracy theorist, the resident conspiracy theorist here, who I hope will tell us if the aliens are going to come and take over. I personally, I'll get into the story in a second, I personally think that the aliens are like monitoring us and they're like, yeah, we don't want any part of that. And then they're getting the heck out of here because they're like, yeah, you guys are a mess. We don't even want to deal with this. So let's go through kind of the timeline because it started to get really, really crazy over the weekend. So there were all these UFO sightings that were popping up all around the United States. On Friday, there was a UFO that was shot down over Alaska. On Saturday, and I'm calling them, they say that they're balloons, some of them. They say that they're UFOs, but then they're like, we don't know. So let me walk you through this. So Saturday, the second one was shot down over Canada. Saturday, a radar anomaly was detected over Montana. Sunday, an F-16 shot down a third UFO over the Great Lakes, which was over specifically Lake Huron. The Defense Department said in a statement that President Biden ordered the strike on the recommendation of military leadership after detecting an airborne object flying at approximately 20,000 feet altitude in the United States airspace. The object was detected Sunday morning. And they said that because of its altitude, it could be hazardous to civilian aviation. And it also flew in proximity to sensitive Department of Defense sites, had potential surveillance capabilities, but likely, they said, no kinetic military threat. So I want to play for you. This is the commander of NORAD. This is General Glenn Van Herk, who was asked, is a very bizarre question by the reporter, like, we keep getting this question, so I'm going to ask you, because people keep asking us, so, like, are we ruling out aliens or what? And he was like, I'm not ruling out anything. Watch.
Hi, thanks, Pat, and thanks for doing this. This is for General Van Herk. Because you still haven't been able to tell us what these things are that we are shooting out of the sky, that raises the question, have you ruled out aliens or extraterrestrials, and if so, why? Because that is what everyone is asking us right now.
Okay, thanks for the question, Helene. I'll let the intel community and the counterintelligence community figure that out. I haven't ruled out anything at this point. We continue to assess every threat or potential threat unknown that approaches North America with an attempt to identify it.
So what a wild time when the government is actually like, I mean, it could be aliens. I don't know. Seems a little bit weird. The first two UFOs that were shot down over Alaska and Canada on Friday and Saturday have both been described as cylindrical. And ABC News cited an unnamed United States official who was the first one. They described it as cylindrical and silverish gray and seemed to be floating without any sort of propulsion. So are we Like, is this it for us? Or what is this just a psyop to get us to not pay attention to all the other things that are going on? Like, what is going on? I'm going to go conspiracy theorist here.
Well, I think you nailed it. I do think this is some sort of distraction. And to be honest, when we talk about these balloons, America has a ton of balloons. We have, spy balloons all over the world. So to think that, China's the only person with a balloon, no, I think this is just pure distraction. You look at the massive explosion in Ohio. People are getting poisoned right now.
Which we're going to talk about
in East
after
Palestine.
This, yeah.
I'm just saying there's just a lot of stuff going on in the world today. The Jeffrey Epstein list is getting, supposedly there's like 119 names getting revealed on that. So there's a lot of stuff to distract us from at the moment. I mean, that sounds like a conspiracy theorist, but I'll just be honest. It's not a freaking alien. I don't think so. If the government says, it could be a UFO, then it's not a UFO.
Exactly.
That's all you have to know. If they want you to think it is, then it's not.
Exactly. Which makes you think, okay, they already know exactly what it is, because otherwise they wouldn't be saying that.
That wasn't much tinfoil hat at all.
No,
that was quite sane.
I,
That was quite.
I expected more from you, Alex.
Yeah, I mean,
Underperforming.
crazy.
Yeah, but it's not an alien. I just want that out there.
No,
It's
I'll
not
say
something-
this to you. I've said to people before, no, it's not an alien. 100% it's not an alien. Plus, it's not unidentified. If you shut it down, there's debris. Pick up the debris, analyze the debris. You could tell us what metal it is.
Right.
Again, if it was, trust me, you would have known. It's not an alien. I say this, not non-conspiracy. You can't fly a Cessna from Haiti to the U.S. without an F-16 intercepting you the second you come into out of international water in our airspace. But we're going to fly a balloon from China across the country because it's allowed to happen. Look, this may be the conspiracy theorist here for you for a minute, okay? This is this administration opening the back door to the United States to China to say, fly in whatever you want, fly over our facilities, track it down. Yes, we've got balloons all over the place as well. 20,000 feet's low. That's low, Sarah.
Yeah, that's lower than a plane.
You fly 30, 36, 40,000 feet just on Southwest Airlines. We are allowing this to happen, and so we shoot them down a little late. There's a lot of them. You got to look at how the world looks at this, and they go, oh, these guys are really weak. They're super, super weak, and we're welcome because we are, in fact, Biden is more pro-China than he is pro-America. So, but no, they're not little green men with. If you find one, bring them to me.
Well, that's the conspiracy.
I want to hurt him.
Of course you do.
Is that they're actually trying to get us to start a war with China? Supposedly, is that what that's what they're saying? Which I don't know. I mean, Joe Biden's done so much business with China. I doubt it.
Yeah, he's very, as Yaku said, he is very pro-China, and Hunter has, gotten a lot of wealth from China. So okay, so I wanna switch gears here, and I want to talk about, Alex, you alluded to it, but I think it is a story that people are missing because everyone is talking about all of this UFO stuff, all of these balloons, whatever it is, which I think is important, but I don't want to lose sight of a really important story over in Ohio. So let me give you this has been going on for a while now, but it's just exacerbated, and we're finding out more information about it. So Friday, February 3rd, there were two trains in Ohio that collided, causing a really, really bad derailment in a small town between Ohio and Pennsylvania. This is East Palestine, I don't know. I would say, okay, Palestine. It's a 50 train car derailment, and it caused this really, really bad fire. It lasted for several days, and apparently they are now saying, Norfolk Southern is saying that these 5 train cars carried vinyl chloride. This is a highly toxic carcinogen linked to rare forms of liver cancer, lymphoma, leukemia, various forms of brain and lung cancers, and more. There's ethylene, glycol, monobutyl ether, a bunch of stuff that I can't say, isobutylene, and officials are now saying, the EPA sent a letter to the rail company. Officials are now saying, we basically nuked a town with chemicals so we could get a railroad open. So I want to play for you. I'm going to play a montage of this whole train derailment, and I want you to really listen. It's hard to hear the pain in this man's voice when he is talking about how all of this transpired and the chemicals that this town has been breathing in this whole time. Watch.
Massive train derailed Friday, 20 of them carrying hazardous materials as flames lit up the sky in northeastern Ohio.
The evacuation order is in place for anyone within a mile radius of the crash site.
These aren't storm clouds. This is the burn off in East Palestine. This is not storm clouds. Look at it.
This shows Ohio cops arresting a national news reporter for reporting on the situation. And you can see all of the dead wildlife.
Officials are claiming that the air and water are safe. Residents say they
More
can still
dead
smell
fish
chlorine.
floating.
They've complained about their eyes watering when they go outside. And one woman says the noxious air killed her chickens.
Out of nowhere, he just started coughing really hard and just shut down and went very fast.
Look at all these crows. I'm not kidding. This is within 10 miles of East Palestine.
If you have not evacuated, please leave the area.
So the story was that they asked these people to evacuate as they basically blew up the trains to move them. But then they invited them back in. So even one of the hazardous material specialists said, I was surprised when they quickly told the people they can go back home, but then said if they feel like they want their homes tested, they can have them tested. I would have far rather they did all the testing. There's a lot of what ifs, and we're going to be looking at this thing 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line and wondering, gee, cancer clusters could pop up, well, water could go bad. This is what's happening in these people's homes, and I'm sure that they have nowhere to go, and they're being poisoned.
Yeah. To Alex's point, you can't help yourself but to play the scene of Bane in Batman. Just go, how do you cause destruction? Look at that picture. How do you cause destruction? And this is not conspiracy. When you look at what we are letting out in the air in this country, the chemtrails and what we're doing, this kind of material traveling through a city by itself, the dangers involved, and when it happens, and it's nothing from the administration, there's no national outcry, and retroactively, how do you fix this? It's already breathed in. Animals are dying, and I always say the animals will tell you. Animals migrate before an earthquake comes. They feel it. Animals are dying. People are breathing things in. You may not know for 15, 20 years of what happened here. And of course, then you arrest the people who tell the truth. So which tells me that there's foul play here from beginning to end in how they handled it, the cleanup of it, sending people back home. They should have evacuated that whole place and locked it down with hazmat suits and said, you want to give free money through COVID and free money to Ukraine, get these people out, put them up in other cities, break down this whole place and go in and study. But no, go back home. Children, babies. Come on. I mean, the animals are dying. What's happening to kids and what are people breathing in? It's reckless. I'll tell you that much. It's completely reckless.
Yeah, another stain on this administration.
Yeah, it reminds me very similar to September 12th, 2001, when the EPA said that the air around the World Trade Center site was fine. And then, fast forward 20 years and you have a massive amount of cops and firefighters that have terminal cancer and can't, breathe or using some sort of oxygen device. So I think that it's just very, typical of the government for this massive thing to happen, and it just gets no media attention. So that's why I'm more worried about it. It's like, I have no idea what the offshoot of these chemicals and the glycogen and blah, blah, blah. I know it's not going to be good. But when the mainstream media is not covering this and giving this half as much attention as a balloon, that makes my antenna go, uh-oh, this is bad news.
Yeah. Well, our heart really goes out to anyone in that area. And
especially the pets that got left there. I feel bad for all the pets. That makes me sick.
Me too.
That's
it
not
really,
good.
it really does make me really sad. And I mean, Jaco, you brought up, I think, just such a great point, which is you guys are spending billions of our dollars sending them to Ukraine, and you cannot even take care of your own American citizens. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
Consistently.
Right,
We
right.
consistently
Every time,
put the
every
American
time,
last.
every time they are faced with a choice, they choose to put America last.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it's intentional.
Oh, one last thing, tinfoil hat. Netflix is coming out with a show that depicts a natural disaster in East Palestine on Netflix.
No.
Yes, look it up. Yes.
Kind of like remember all the Simpson clips of all the
exactly
disasters,
right.
and then years later this happens with all the Simpson
There's
stuff.
a Netflix.
wild.
Yes.
All right, well, we got to take a quick break. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Patriot Mobile. So thanks to all of your support. Patriot Mobile really has emerged as one of the leaders in the parallel economy, which is huge. We have to be participating in it. Well, Patriot Mobile has really, really good news. They now offer services with all 3 major networks. So if you are with the big 3 mobile carriers and you like their service and you're scared to switch, but you don't like their values, you still can access the same networks with Patriot Mobile. They're also going to offer you a performance guarantee. So if you are not happy with your coverage, you can switch between these 3 major carriers for free, but you're not going to want to because you're going to love it. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer the same nationwide coverage on the best 4G and 5G networks, so you're going to be getting the same great service while supporting a company that is fighting to preserve our God-given rights and freedoms. So please, I'm telling you, just at least go to the website and look into it. Yaku's nodding his head because he knows. He does business with Patriot Mobile as well.
All the time. They go to the border with us. They put their money counter to the administration. They care about Americans.
Yes.
100%.
They put their money where their mouth is. And they absolutely, the money that you are putting into your bill, you know that when they go and they take a portion of it and they donate it to a cause, it's going to be a good one. And it's going to be one that you can believe in. You can get free activation today with the offer code NEWS over at patriotmobile.com/news. That is offer code NEWS over at patriotmobile.com/news. All right, so I want to get back to this Project Veritas ongoing saga. So we talked yesterday, for those of you who haven't heard, we talked last week, about what's going on at Project Veritas. It seemed to be an attempt to oust James O'Keefe. All of a sudden, we heard that he was on paid leave. It was, February 5th or so? And then there was a memo that leaked out that shows that a bunch of employees sent this memo to the board begging them to, remove James O'Keefe, or begging them to address it, I should say, begging them to address James O'Keefe's behavior. They said he was unruly. There was a lot of hurt feelings, which I find to be just hilarious. Like, poor baby. I mean, like, do you want a little pet on the head? Do you want a cookie? Like, what do you want? You want some more milk? But some of them in particular talked about these relationships that he had with the donors and that he was treating the donors horribly. One of them said, James has become a power-drunk tyrant, and he is exactly who he pontificates on who we should be exposing. And one of the donors who they talked about, they said, she came up and asked to take a picture with him, and he was so rude, and he said no, and she was visibly upset. She was so upset, and we're just worried about how he's treating these people. Well, this is donor Dianna Remmers, who came forward to refute all of these claims that James O'Keefe exhibited cruel behavior, said the employees. She said that the document completely mischaracterized her interactions with James. Let's watch some of her video. Watch.
Hi there, my name is Dianna Remmers, and I'm actually here in Mexico on vacation with my husband, and I've been made aware of allegations towards James O'Keefe with Project Veritas through the news, a little bit on news, a little bit on social media, and whatnot. And I realized actually that one of the allegations and grievances towards James is about a situation that involved me with James in November 2021 in Florida at a David Horowitz event, where the allegations are that he was extremely rude to one of his donors, which happens to be me, and that's completely blown out of proportion. I asked him to take a picture, and he, had a lot of people running at him asking for different things, and he wasn't thrilled about getting a picture at that moment, but he did. We actually after that we had a great conversation. We've become great friends, and I've had events for him, one in Beverly Hills. He's been a personal guest of mine at Mar-a-Lago for a Turning Point event, and I'm going to continue to support him. And I'm really very disappointed in the petty allegations towards him. They're actually completely false and ridiculous. So I will continue supporting James as long as he's with Project Veritas, because without James, Project Veritas is nothing. So that's all I have to say. Just wanted to set the record straight, and I hope everybody has a good day.
So again, going back to this memo, and they've not updated us at all, the board, right? They were supposed to have some big vote on Friday. They had said that these were the reports, and then we haven't heard anything, probably because a lot of the donors have gotten together. They've signed a letter. They've retained a law firm, and they sent them a letter from this law firm saying, we're telling you that this is actually going to violate a Virginia statute, Virginia law, if you remove him. And so it's just very fascinating, because if you did you guys read the entire memo from the employees? it read like a bunch of Gen Zers who don't understand what it's like to be in a real job and were very upset that like they were held to, a high standard, right? They were actually supposed to do their job. They weren't there to be coddled. They weren't entitled, and they just seemed to be very upset about it. Now you hear something like this from one of the people who they said was horribly mistreated, and she's like, yeah, no, actually that isn't the case. We're all adults. Like he didn't want to take a picture. He was really busy, but he did, and it was cool, and we're friends now. I don't know why they're using me as some sort of example of how James O'Keefe is such a horrible person, because I don't think he is. Very fascinating.
I had this conversation this morning. That's exactly what I got from it. I'm so over the feelings of this nation.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. Okay, yes, and I understand we operate in the fruit of the Spirit, and we have to consider people's feelings, but we can't run a country on feelings. And you've got two generations here. You've got, millennials and Gen Zs that operate. Feelings is their octane. It's their fuel. And if you hurt their feelings, it means you don't love them. So I read it as, okay, welcome to the real world. You got to schedule, you got to perform, you got to earn it. Sorry, and if your boss is having a tough day, he's entitled to a tough day, and get a little tough skin.
Right.
Shape up. It's not abuse, which your culture wants to tell you. It's just called reality.
Right.
All right, so toughen up. And the adults come out and they go, wait a minute, no, guy's an adult. And by the way, just because they are donors to James doesn't mean they own him.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean wherever he walks, you stalk him in the bathroom, you take a picture with the guy. So, I've only had incredible interactions with him. But again, I can't help but reading that document and just go, yep, this is the world we live in right now. Feelings got hurt, and because feelings got hurt, the squeaky wheel wants to get the grease.
Well, and it was so dramatic. Like there was one part where an employee said, you can't spit in an employee's face over a tweet. True story. Well, then they elaborate, and it's like he was speaking so closely to them, and he was passionate, and he accidentally got spit on them as he was talking. Much different than you can't spit in an employee's face, right?
Well, and that's what should be the biggest red flag, is that they have to kind of misconstrue donors and try to create sort of drama. And if this is the worst thing that James has ever done, put him on quote unquote probation or something. You're not going to the guy started Project Veritas. You're just going to excommunicate him over a few complaints. He should at least, if all these complaints are real, let's just say they're all valid, he should have the ability to correct those complaints because he is the top dog. So if they won't give him that ability, you're like, well, something's fishy.
Also, don't for 1 second, sorry, Sarah, discount for a second that there are people that aren't in line with the true viewpoint of Project Veritas as lower level employees and whatever, and go, hey, how do we take this thing down? Take down the top guy, take down the founder.
Especially after he has the biggest video of the year with the Project Veritas stuff. It's just very unusual timing.
It really is. That's why it's such weird timing. I know there are a lot of people who are speculating like, oh, the board's been bought off by Pfizer, which,
maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't.
I don't know if this is.
I don't really think that. But show me some evidence. Show me some evidence, right?
I'm just pure speculation, but it just the timing seems very weird. It almost seems like there is some sort of outside influence, whether it's Pfizer, whether it's whatever. I don't know, but it just seems very weird that they're so motivated to get him out at this time when they're the hottest they've ever been.
Yeah, well, and they're doing such great work, and that's what just really frustrates me about this movement
isn't the work more important than what James has done?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And
they train James to your point. You walk the guy as a board. Your job as a board is to give counsel. Then take a board and go, hey, James, listen, man, are you frustrated? Are you a little burnt out? Do you need to take a 2-month break, bro? Personal, but you don't oust. The fact that they want him out tells me outside influence got the ear of people on the inside.
Right.
And they're stirring the pot. And Scripture tells you, do not pick up another's offense. Say, oh, but that donor was disappointed. And the donor goes, no, not so much.
Not
right.
Really.
Actually quite okay. That's stirring.
Right.
That's literally causing division.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Well, it's just at a time when he is anyone else doing the work that he's doing?
No, nobody.
He's literally the only one who is doing the work right now that we absolutely need on the ground. You really have to wonder what is the motivation behind trying to oust him at this particular time. It just doesn't seem to be good. And again, I know people on both sides of this, so I'm trying to keep as objective an opinion as I can. Yeah. But it's James O'Keefe. And as much as the people in this letter wanted to say, I saw some of them like, there's no Project Veritas without us. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's like the
Many
Twitter
people,
employees who looked at Elon and go, you can't do this without us. And he said, oh, watch me.
Right.
Watch me real quick.
You want to think that you're not replaceable. You want to think you're irreplaceable. You know what? If you're a cog in the machine, you're replaceable. Sorry to tell you, you're replaceable. They can train someone else who can do the job, and you are replaceable. James O'Keefe is not. And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. It's just that it's the truth. So, all right, let's go ahead and take another quick break. But then when we come back, I've got a good story for you guys. Childhood innocence is a myth, according to a professor. This one's head is about to explode.
I'm ready. Yeah, it is.
All right, so I want to thank our sponsor, Eden Pure. So they've got this thunderstorm air purifier that uses this oxy technology that is going to destroy viruses, odor, mold, litter box smells, as this guy knows all about all too well. Turtle. He has a turtle. Turtle stinks so bad. They really do. Every time you're on the show, we have this sponsor, and every time I'm like, I really need to get you some of these. I'm gonna say it again. I really need to get you some of these.
Because I'm the stinkiest guy at the Blaze. I need a lot of help.
He smells like cat pee.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I do, yes. But the Eden Pure makes my life much better, much simpler, and the aroma, the aromatics are much more pleasant.
Well, it is because it's just actual clean air, which we all should be breathing. And I use them, I have a preteen boy. He always stinks. It's been great for that. And I also do have a zoo at home. And we have been very, very pleasantly relieved at the fact that you don't have to smell all of the, stuff that's in the litter box whenever you pass through the room that has the litter box in it. You really, really can start enjoying your home again. Get a couple right now because you put them in different parts of your house like I do. So you can save $200 right now on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm 3-pack. For whole home protection, you get 3 units for under $200. Put one wherever you need it for fresh air. You can go to EdenPureDeals.com, put in discount code SARAH3. That is discount code SARAH3 to save. They're telling me it's just Sarah now. EdenPureDeals.com, put in discount code SARAH. An early childhood professor is promoting the idea that childhood innocence is just simply a myth. This is Willy Villalpando, a professor at Santa Ana College in California. He's also a former pre-K teacher for Rialto Unified School District. He says that toddlers should be exposed to gender ideology, queerness, and sex. And yes, he does like to be called Mr. Willy. If that wasn't your first freaking red flag that something was wrong with it, can you put his pic? This guy is teaching your pre-K students and wants them to call him Mr. Willy.
I'm almost more worried about him eating the child than sexually assaulting him. I mean, that guy looks bad.
I'm quite confident he's capable of doing both.
Yeah.
So he says babies as young as 3 months old have a sexual preference, and not having a talk about queerness is very white, Christian, upper class, cisgendered, and heterocentric. So his Instagram went bye-bye. He exploded and deleted his Instagram, but he had posted on his Instagram previously about his mission to destroy the idea that children are too innocent to learn about sexuality and genderqueer topics. He said there is a common mythology that children live in this world of pure innocence, and that by introducing or exposing them to real-world adults are somehow shattering this illusion for them. Therefore, there is a banning of topics and issues that children should not be exposed to, as if they are not experiencing them already. Kids are never too young to learn about queerness. By the way, I'm sure it will come as no surprise to you that he says that if parents don't want to talk about certain mature topics with their children, it was up to teachers such as himself, good old Mr. Willy, to have that conversation with your child. He said, children are exploring and understanding gendered association before they say their first words. Around 3 to 4 months old, infants show a sex and gender preference in who they look at. Why is the FBI not banging down this guy's door right now? Because golly, I'd sure like to see what's on his laptop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a pedophile that should be arrested. This is a guy that most likely have followed through on the act. But this is also a guy that's a disciple. He is a disciple because he's so unoriginal. Nothing about what he's saying is original. Alfred Kinsey, 1945, 1952, performed sexual experiments on boys 6 weeks old, saying that they enjoy, no, they want orgasm, rewrites the sexual manifesto for the world's youth. That's the same guy that then co-opts Hugh Hefner. Everything you know today comes from Kinsey's work. Indiana University, you disgust me because you fund and support the Kinsey Institute. The Kinsey Institute, the #1 supporter, of course, of Planned Parenthood, murdering children in the womb. This guy's a disciple. Nothing he's saying is original. It's copybook Alfred Kinsey report. That's what he is, and they believe it. Don't let these guys think this is just for likes, by the way. These guys will sodomize children, they will abuse children, and if we don't stop them, this will become the norm. So this guy should be investigated, should be thrown under the jail, not in the jail, 10 feet under the jail. They should go look at and they should actually go interview every single child that he's ever taught and ask, did Mr. Willy show you his Willy? Did Mr. Willy try to touch you? What did Mr. Willy say to you? But no, of course, the FBI's got other priorities, right? We're not going to defend children in this country. They're a bunch of bastards.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's just like, oh, well, this is just a conversation we need to have. It's just a debate, rather, Alex. This is a debate that we need to have, an open debate on whether or not children should be sexualized.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the weird thing for me. It's the fact that he has access to children all day. I mean, he has these terrible views, and there's a lot of people that have these views, and they figure out how to ingratiate themselves within like the pre-K school system or some sort of like babysitter or some sort of daycare thing. So it's just, for me, that's what's so scary is like, not even just that these people exist, but they actually exist, and they're teaching our children. They have access to the most vulnerable people possible. So I mean, obviously this guy needs a full investigation, but I mean, he needs more than just an investigation.
But that's what I'm saying is like it's so frustrating because that won't happen because his view is now, I wouldn't say commonplace, but I would say that the academia is purporting it as like a valid viewpoint, right? So that's what I'm saying. So now we're supposed to have an open debate here on whether or not children should be sexualized because they're promoting it as this valid viewpoint.
Yeah, I mean, for him to say what a 6-month-old has a sexual preference and all, you know, and can consent, basically. I mean, nobody. This is why it's not going to be a debate. Even people, when I get the messages, when we go to the trans and when we expose that, even gay people aren't on this, even though they don't even align with it because they know it's apparent for children to be sexualized like this. So I think this is a very niche thing. I know it's becoming definitely more prevalent, but the majority of individuals do not think that this is okay.
Yeah.
Do you know that we are in 48 states right now? It's in every single curriculum in every state. It's in Texas. It's every single curriculum. It's sandwiched in between social studies and coloring for pre-K students. Our bill gets filed Wednesday in Texas to remove all pornographic material from schools. This is a war, Alex.
Yeah.
This is a war where, actually, I'm going to say, where are you, church? Where are you, conservative Christian Americans, for standing up for the innocent? They're telling you children are not innocent. God, Jesus tells you, rather you put a millstone around your neck and drown yourself in the ocean, than to what? Lead one of these kids astray. Never mind harm them, sexualize them, and abuse them. The public outcry is not there yet, Sarah, and that concerns me about America, that we tolerate this, that it's a topic of conversation, that we don't go with FBI. If you don't show up, we're going to show up. Like they used to get bad guys out of town, we're going to show up and drive people into obscurity where they belong. These guys should hide like rats in the sewer. Yeah. They shouldn't be celebrated by academia and running around under MAPS terminology.
I want to go to one more school district here. This is in New Hampshire. And I am obviously not a man, and I don't have man parts. And I just want your opinion on this, guys. So this is a Milford, New Hampshire school district that they're banning urinals. And let me tell you why. So currently, they have a policy that students may only use restrooms that match their sex, not like what they falsely think that they are on any particular given day. But the school board wants to change that and allow anyone to use the bathroom, and there was a lot of back and forth on it. And so now their compromise is, well, we'll have a boys and a girls, but we'll get rid of the urinals in the boys' restroom so that everyone can feel safe, and we're just going to have a bunch of single stalls, and nobody can be like loitering around. We can only have as many people as there are stalls in there at any particular time. And the boys are pissed. They were actually protesting, saying, we want urinals and we want them now. And so you can see there's a video here. They had about 45 minutes. There was a walkout and they protested. And it's just, again, this is the crazy world that we're living in right now.
But what was the other story the other day? The other place that's installing urinals in the girls' bathroom.
Washington University. I forget what it's called.
University.
Yeah,
so they're installing. So they're so confused.
It's one college. I forget which one. It's like Berkeley or somebody. One of them. One of these liberal arts or liberal colleges. Actually.
Installing urinals in the girls' bathroom. Here's what I'm saying. Let boys be boys and let them become men again. Teach them to pee under the tree for that matter on the outside. Have urinals. This is insanity, Sarah. As a guy, no, we don't want to sit and pee.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I mean,
no, thank
it's
you.
like if you have to use a urinal, it's because you're a dude and you should go to the dude's bathroom.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty basic, but like, this is kind of the underlying thing that people don't realize. So now basically they've turned the restrooms unisex, like you can't tell. So that's kind of what they want to do to us. They want to make these children.
Target.
I'm just saying, that's basically what they want. This is it, and that's why this bathroom issue is such like a, hot topic debate, because obviously nobody wants a trans man in a little girl's bathroom. I mean, that's just like obvious.
Well, the biological male really would like to
of course
be in the little girl's bathroom.
Duh. And I'm not saying every trans person wants to be, but it's just that shouldn't be allowed. You should have to go into a bathroom. But the only solution to this is their solution is a unisex bathroom. So I feel like that's kind of the only direction that we can go to stop this. And it's
Alex. No.
I know. No
But
what I'm just trying to. Of course, I'm just trying to say
but
though.
not in my bathroom.
No, not in your bathroom. In my bathroom.
My whole point is that this is an analogy for what they want of our children. They basically want them unisex, where they have no gender and they're trans.
It's a workaround.
And they're in the middle. Yeah,
to get their goal
it's a very weird way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Before we take a break, I want to tell everyone something. If you're watching on YouTube, first of all, if you're watching on BlazeTV, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys being a subscriber. If you are watching on BlazeTV's YouTube, I need you to do something. Next week, you're not going to see this program on BlazeTV's YouTube. It is only going to be on the News and Why It Matters YouTube page. So go over after this program, make sure you are subscribed to the News and Why It Matters with Sarah Gonzalez YouTube channel, because you don't want to be the one that comes in next Monday and you're like, where's my show? I'm telling you, make sure that you go over and subscribe to the News and Why YouTube channel if you have not yet done so. I'm going to remind you guys this week, okay? So don't complain to me if you forget. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Yeah.
I figured that was coming. Two very different sets of comments.
As I mentioned earlier in the program, the perfect people to be on this show today could not have been planned more perfectly. So the final trove of court documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case will be released to the public in the next coming days. These are all the secret documents that had, this is allegedly, they will name the associates of Jeffrey Epstein and salacious allegations, they say. So it's related to 167 of Jeffrey Epstein's associates, victims, and employees. It will be unsealed. This is, of course, has it been almost 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
little longer,
God, that makes me feel so old. I feel like it just happened 2 years ago.
Yeah,
maybe.
It's been fast.
Wow. Well, the court documents say that the alleged perpetrators are accused of serious wrongdoing, and I'll believe it when I see it, is all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This is going to be redacted. It's not all the names. We know a lot of the names that should be there, and I'll be able to tell you right away. I don't think it's all the names. And then again, the names are released. Okay. So you release a name, now what? You think anybody's going to be called to a witness stand? You think anybody's going to, you think Bill Clinton's going to be called in to say, sorry, Uncle Bill, come stand in front of cross-examination, jury of your peers? Until that happens, there's no true justice for the victims, right? They're not calling them in. So you release the names, public shame, whatever.
Right.
Let's see what names, and then let's see real action. Bring people into the court of law. Bring the survivors who are alive, who can identify these guys. Bring them in
Well, I mean, let me just tell you something. Jeffrey Epstein is accused of doing the most disgusting apparent things possible. One of the things by Jean-Luc Brunel, who's a model scout, for his birthday, actually flew into his private island 3 11-year-old French twins, and that was like Jeffrey Epstein would brag about how he slept with little twins. That was like one of his big major accomplishments. And so my point is, these are the most disgusting people ever, and we know this. Like, this is all out in the open, and the fact that we already know Kevin Spacey and there's an endless amount of celebrities are on the plane. Nobody gives a crap. If the mainstream media would give half the amount of attention, or 1/4 the amount of attention that they give all of this, crap that we don't even care about, that doesn't matter about space balloons and blah, 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 or whatever the hell they're shooting out of the air. I'm not saying that that's not important, but just give 1/100th as much attention on the Jeffrey Epstein release. But for me, it's not going to be, there'll be outrage between us, but no real outrage against the people that matter.
Yep. So I'm back. I almost died.
Yeah, you're okay. Wow.
But I have a theory. We'll see. This is my own fun little conspiracy theory, okay?
Please.
This says, I'm not crying. I just
She
almost
is crying.
died.
She's very sad about this.
I'm really sad about this.
This leak.
Okay, so it says, there is at least one public figure in the list of Epstein associates, according to a declaration filed on Wednesday. What if the only public figure that they put forth is Donald Trump, and they retract all the other names? So then they're like, look, he was his best friend.
Look, they could pull a move like that, but that statement tells you the names that we know should be on there is not going to be released.
At least one public figure.
One public figure.
So they're going to list the guy that handled luggage at Epstein Island, right? That handled the luggage, and the pilot, and come on, man. This is such a game. It's such a farce. To Alex's point, for us in the community fighting this every day, it's a disgrace. Remember, there are victims, real people that are now 22, 25, 30 years old that were completely destroyed sexually. There's no justice for them. This is a disgrace. But they pull a move like that. They would try something like that.
They're not going to give us the real information. I mean, they might, expose something to get us distracted and get us mad at Donald Trump or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's what they love to say, that Donald Trump is best friends. And I think Donald Trump is one of the only people, after a lot of it got exposed, and I'm not just trying to white knight for Donald Trump, that actually spoke out against Jeffrey Epstein and kicked him out of his...
No, Trump sat with the FBI in Trump Tower and gave them all the information.
That's what I'm saying. So Trump, I mean, I think Trump is fine. They're going to say, oh, well, he's friends with him, so that, negates him. Obviously, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
A really good point. That may be a Hail Mary.
Mentally ill, Dylan Mulvaney put out a recent video saying he just looks so pretty. He looks so hot. He could steal your husband, ladies. Watch.
It's day 335 of being a girl, and I wanted to go on record to say that this might be the hottest I've ever looked and will ever look in my lifetime. And I'm making this video so that in thousands of years, there will be evidence. Is it the dress?
At all.
It could be the dress. Is it the makeup? Or is it the hair? Because I think it's the extensions. And when I have extensions in, I don't know my name. I don't know where I live. I just know that I love these. And I know that I look like I could steal a husband, but I want to promise you, look me in the eyes. I want to promise you that I would never do that to you. Okay, I am a girl's girl. And I love ya. Woo! But seriously, this is good, right? Okay. Love you, okay.
All right, what you think?
The funny part is how his voice almost comes back to a dude's voice, breaking character. Not so hot, number one. Not so hot.
He's not going to steal you from...
Mentally deranged, very sick, very sad. We were talking earlier, if a normal girl did that, right? A real girl. I'm so hot right now. I need to preserve this for thousands of years. That would be a little narcissistic. A little problematic,
a little bit,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark threw that one in there. No, come on. Need help. Some psychological help.
335 days as a girl. I mean, it just shows you that, this is it's just pure mockery of women.
It really is.
It's anti-woman, to say that you can just become one in 335 days.
I would say, for the record, my husband has all the crazy that he can handle with me. He doesn't need any more crazy people in his life. I've actually filled that quota for him, so you're welcome.
But you know what, Dylan, we would like you to find a partner. I hope you do, not somebody's husband. I don't think Dylan has any love interests, according to his team.